Alright, welcome everyone to Sweden in Review, Chapter 2 basically, for the month of February. The template you're going to be seeing for this presentation is going to be the exact same as the last one. I didn't really have any time to make any glaring and big changes to the format. So if you've seen last month's presentation, you're likely to predict the format and the order of how things are going to be laid out. Furthermore, this presentation is not going to take very long, so please enjoy, and yeah, let's get into it. We start with what I had last time, because I think some people might have tuned in for the first time. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this. So what is Sweden in Review? Sweden in Review is a monthly recap of the Swedish ultimate scene, highlighting fun numbers and statistics, which at this point is mostly trivia. It's going to consider placings, it's going to consider character data, etc, etc. What are the goals? To be more aware of what is going on in the country in a fun way, to catalog just how active Sweden is with the game, and collect data for regional and Swedish PR purposes. These are the TOs and the regions. Nothing has changed except that this time Zaftard is a TO for Halmstad. He went back to being a TO for that region. Otherwise, the regions represented by this sheet and research are Örebro, Skåne, Gotland, Trollhättan, Halmstad, Linköping, Stockholm, Skara, Jönköping, Luleå, Göteborg, Piteå, Västerås, and Skellefteå. Johnny G is actually a TO for Örebro. Okay, well I will add it to the sheet then. Johnny G is also a TO for Örebro. Zaftard will never beat the "you should change your tag" allegations. Lamau. So, nothing has changed really. Zaftard is added. Apparently Johnny G is also added, so I will add it to the main sheet later. And we keep going. These are the locations of all the tournament scenes that are represented on the sheet and on the data collection. Nothing really changed. Nothing glaring. And we can keep going. So, how many tournaments do you reckon we had this month? If you remember, last month we had 19 without Smashboard and 20 with Smashboard. How many do you think we've had this month? If you're part of the sheet, please do not say so. 13? 98, that's a lot of tournaments. Any more guesses? 11? Sweden is not dying. Actually not. It's doing pretty well, honestly, all things aside. I'm gonna give you another couple seconds. 16, okay. Well, of you, the person who was closest was actually Bali, who actually undercut the amount of tournaments that were in Sweden, because there were 18 tournaments this month. There are down from January, and if you include Smashboard, it was actually 2 less than last month, so pretty consistent. In terms of the distribution of tournaments, we had 4 in Linköping, +1 from last month, 3 in Gothenburg or Göteborg, +1 from last month, 2 in Stockholm, which was +1, technically +0, but that was an Arcadian, so that don't count for the sheet, so technically speaking, it's the same. We had 1 in Gotland, which was the same, 2 in Gotland, which were the same amount. We had 1 in Skara, which went down 2. We had 1 in Halmstad, which went down 1. Örebro, Trollhättan, Luleå, Skellefteå, and Jönköping. Also 3 days less of a month. That is true. That is true. What do you mean, what is Golan doing there? What do you mean? He's right there. Then we keep going. Obviously, the Jönköping +1 is pretty, fairly reasonable, considering that the start of the Jönköping regional series was this month. We also had no tournaments from Malmö and Västerås compared to last time, which both went down by 1 event each. So let's go run down the results by order of magnitude. Linköping has an average entrance of 9.75 at the Ds, down from 14 of last time. They had 4 tournaments. The first one was won by Pipwolf, that's me. Second, Jason, third, Cloudberry. The second one was won by Cloudberry, with Kräftstjursmannen in second, Kimoy third. Pipwolf, Cloudberry, Hanky was the order for the third, Hanky getting a seed factor upset of 2, winning over Kimoy and Kräftstjursmannen. And then the last tournament saw Cloudberry win against Jason for a seeding factor upset of 1, Craftshoo's Mannen getting 3rd and Jason getting 2nd. Gothenburg stayed the same with an average attendee count of 10. With I Refuse, Time Balloon, Crown in that order being the placements for the first tournament, which, fun fact, the entire tournament, all 10 entries or whatever it was, went as seeded, every single one. Marwin got first and the second, winning over I Refuse with a seeding factor upset of 1. I Refuse getting second and Agman or Dr. Agman getting third. TB, KP, and Marwin got placed in that order in the latest tournament, which was a round robin tournament. Stockholm has an average attendee count of 26 with their 2 tournaments this month. Less than the original 38, but it makes sense considering the hype around the first tournament of the year or whatever. The first one seeing BG Tao taking first, King taking second with an extreme seeding factor upset of 6, winning twice against Bali, which was misspelled, I am so sorry Bali, and Mint getting third. I am so sorry Bali, I am so sorry. And then the second tournament had BG Tao getting first, Rage getting second, and Mint getting third. Scotland had an average of 13.5 attendees within their 2 tournaments, which was more than 12 of last month. Seeing J-Bob, Kaffemolk, and Jolt getting first, second, and third. And the reason why Oleastic is in bracket is because they are still having a back and forth between them both, which they have pretty much alternated the spot of second or third depending on whether J-Bob or Kaffemog participates. Because Kaffemog always gets higher than those two, and J-Bob gets the win. What do we not know, J-Bob? Round down of results number 3. We have Almstad with an average of 11 attendees, up from 17.5, which saw Invader the Psych getting first, Urga Lurga getting second, and GCK Phoenix having a seeding factor of 1 over Oliver This getting third. And then we have Skara with 1 tournament going up from the average of 7.33 that saw Blackcoat cementing his leading position in the region, 30 Deeds, and Retro Kid. This all went as seeded. We had a Jönköping for the grand reopening of our monthly regionals with 51 entrants, which is frankly insane. Seeing Big Chungus, Mixtape, and Rage get first, second, and third as seeded. However, I thought it was pretty applicable for me to also mention Truls, who got 4th, getting a seeding factor upset of 4, and a player upset of 5 against Rage, and a player upset of 4 against me. Good showing by him. We'll then have the northern part of Sweden with Luleå, who had an entrance count of 13, which is down from 18 of last time, seeing Vulcan win, Lazzy second, and Nimp third. Vulcan with a seeding factor upset of 1, upsetting Lazzy, and Nimp with a seeding factor of 3, winning against Zirian. We keep going with Trollhättan, which their tournament only had 8, which makes sense considering that their previous tournament was the first tournament of the year in the entirety of Sweden, so it makes sense to go down that much, less invasions. Their order went to Stig, Whiny, and Klacken. And then we have Örebro, which went 9, down from 20. Again, they were one of the first people to have tournaments in Sweden, which means that their size decreased with less invaders coming. Who saw Källafors win the first place, Gardenball get the second, and Sloborob get the third place. We then have Skellefteå, going back to the north, which now had an attendee count of 17, which went up from their 8 of last time, seeing Vulcan once again winning that tournament, Lazzy getting second, and Schlaka getting third, with a seeding factor upset of 4, winning over Sloglarne and Klur. So, general tournament trivia. The first tournament of the month was from Trollhättan and Göteborg, the 4th of February. The busiest weekend was the week 8 with 7 tournaments. In comparison, last month, there were 8 tournaments. That was the busiest. Why are you laughing? They look into the camera. What does that even mean? The highest number of attendees was in Jönköping with 51, Stockholm with 30, and Skellefteå with 17. Of tournaments that had more than one tournament, Stockholm had the highest average with 26.5, Gotland had 13.5, and Göteborg at 10. And the highest cumulative attendees was Stockholm with 53 over 2 tournaments, Jönköping 51 with 1 tournament, and Linköping 39 with 4 tournaments. The average attendees went up from 13.57 in January to 14.83. And it would actually be slightly less than last month if we actually included Smashboard. With Smashboard, last month's average attendee was 14.94, and it would go down to 14.83 as of right now. However, if we don't include Smashboard, it was actually an increase in the average attendee count. Throughout Sweden, that is. Person with the most tournaments. Here's where the trivia starts. So who do you think has the most tournaments total within both January and February? And who has the most tournaments only in February? What do you think? Shirley Toby, KP, Sam Stockholm, Pipwolf, definitely not me. I have not been competing, dude. Definitely not me. I'm top 5 at least. I only have the most here. Toby's a good fucking guess. So let me remind you, there's 2 categories here. Most tournaments total within January and February, and most tournaments in February only. So let me start. Who do you think has the most tournaments in total? In total. Toby 1 or Def? Voktrufel, counting Wi-Fi 30s. Vulcan, I'll just show it. The most tournaments is Toby 1 and Cloudberry, who are tied for 8 total in 2 months, which means that on average they do 1 tournament a week. For only February, it is Cloudberry with 5. Because he went to every tournament, plus a Jönköping local. On the same weekend he went to his own local. That's how that works. And now we get to the most out-of-region events. And most out-of-region events in February. Who do you think has the most out-of-region events total? And who do you think has the most out-of-region events in February specifically? Toby both. Good guess. Me, 1. Good guess. Every guess is good guess. I suppose I'm just gonna show it. Toby1 Kenobi has a total of 5 out-of-region events within 2 months, so that he has the highest out-of-region events total. However, for only February, Bali, Toby1, Oliver Diz, and Grodenbol have all of them 2 out-of-region events in February. That is what the sheet is telling me. I'm the same as Grodenbol? That can't be right? I'm gonna check later. Literally organizes travel? I'll check later. In the case in which I'm wrong and the sheet is incorrect, then Johnny G has to. Alright, let me keep going. How alive is this country? How many unique players attended at least 1 event, do you think, between January and February? How many unique players? So this means both January and February. Not so last time, if you remember, we had 198, I think, something like that. 75, 60. Keep in mind that this is between January and February, so it can't be lower than 198, I think, or whatever it was last year. Remember that? 0? I mean, that's a lot. 219. I'll go ahead and show it, but I believe Johnny G wins with 238 unique entrants from both months, up from 194. So in 2 months, there have been 238 unique entries. Furthermore, there were 267 cumulative attendees throughout the 19 tournaments of this month, up from 258 from last month, excluding Smashboard. Can you please say who these 238 people are? That's gonna take a while, so no. Sorry, not bad. Most played characters. Now, the character selection section of the sheet is still a work in progress, but a lot more is filled and a lot more is accurate. So, let me ask you, who do you think is the most main character in this country? What do you think? Joker or Mario? Mario, Wolf, Aegis, Falcon, Violet, Steve, Mario, Yoshi, Steve. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The most main character is actually Aegis with 7 of them, overtaking Mario, who's still at 6 mains. Terry, Joker, Cloud, Kazuya, and Bowser are also at 6. Terry, Joker, Cloud, Kazuya, Bowser are also at 6. I will get to the list later. Who do you think is the most secondary character? Joker, Wolf, Green Mario, Joker, Wolf, Cloud. The most secondary character is a trick question because it's also Aegis with 7 secondaries, which makes a complete total of 14 people who play these characters with 7 mains. Lucina, Cloud are at 4 secondary usage, which also have 6 and 10 players respectively, main plus secondary. So there are a total of 6 Lucinas and 10 Clouds in this country. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Tell me I'm not counted for Aegis. If you are, then Taudi to put you in as that, because that's the job of the TOs, not mine. What do you guys think about the statistic? Least played characters. Combination of the top 4 characters people play, the characters that only have a 1 on them. Who do you think these are? Who do you think that only have a 1? Diddy Kong, DK, Bayonetta. It's not Peach either, it is not. Maybe it is, I don't know. Ices, Marth. I don't remember. Insin, Meta Knight, Marth, Mario. Alright, we just show. Peach, Ices, Lucario, Villager, Me Sword Fighter, Bowser Jr., Duck Hunt, Corin, Bayo, and Richter / Simon are all characters that only have 1 representative. The people in bold are also the people who main those characters. So therefore, we have Bali, that is from Stockholm, not Kane, from Stockholm. We have Smasher89 from Skara, who plays Ices. We have Floppy from Linköping playing Lucario. We have Nashi, that plays Duck Hunt from also Skara. Rage from Stockholm, that plays Bayo. And PH2 from Hastad, who plays Richter. It would be Floppy who plays Lucario. But wait, what? What do I wait for? Does this mean there are 2 Daisies? Daisies and Peaches are connected. I connected them, so it's Paisy. Any questions? Shook actually played? As far as I know, yes. I have to check the sheet after this. Then this is wrong again? I don't think so. I'm gonna check again after with you guys. Wait, that's my Duck Hunt, no count. Blame Psych. He's the one in charge of all your characters. Prince S played Daisy. Right, I forgot to specify this. People who have not played in their home region are not written. It is not completely full. It is not completely full. I'm gonna show you why that is in a second as I explain how this works. I'm gonna explain. Old and active ass. I explain how this works soon. Okay, what about characters that aren't played at all according to the sheet? What about the characters who aren't played at all? One of them is Dr. Mario, I'll give you that one. Who are the rest? Mewtwo? Pichu, Ganondorf, Ike. No, that should work. I just had a moment of doubt in my head about the way I did the sheet, so it should work. Mario Piranha Plant. I see a doctor on the screen. That is correct. There's Dr. Mario. Alright, I'm just gonna show you. We have Pichu, Dr. Mario, Chrom, Roy's Blade, but they're different enough, Mega Man, Pac-Man, and that's it. Those 5. Those 5 are not played at all. I will now show you the sheet, and since while I'm at it, I'm also going to check for mistakes. I will drop this sheet off in the Swedish Discord to wait until next month to see more, and this is mostly done to avoid tampering without making the sheet restricted, blah 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 blah. And here we go.